Okay, let us continue. If under this particular slide, you see if you're talking about the history of politics, yeah, it can be divided into three, which is diplomatic history, constitutional history, and public history. So we are going to look at each one of them. If you look at the next slide, first we are going to look at diplomatic history, whereby it is a history which encompasses the international relationship between states. Yeah, as I already mentioned, we have foreign envoys, yeah, special envoys, messengers, representative ambassadors, yeah, that was sent from one place to another in order to have relationship of politics between one country to another. Okay, so this is basically concerning the foreign policy of one state, and how they maintain a relationship within two or more states, yeah, with the current scenario of exposure of politics. We have, say, for example, the politics between the Americans and the Russian. We do have embassies, of each one of them within countries in the world. Obviously, we establish a relationship with other countries, and how we do that by sending our diplomatic, yeah, commission in order for us to establish a place there within that particular country, and to be able to disseminate any ideas or more or less peace, yeah, in terms of how do we continue relationship with one another. Um, we have capitalists, the United States, and we have the communists in the other uh, spectrum. Yeah, if you look at them, they cannot see eye to eye. They despise each other. If you look at North and South Korea, yeah, they used to be one, and they were divided in terms of the ideology that they want to adopt. For North, they adopt the communism, so the South, which is capitalist America. So in order for you to maintain the tension from escalating, you send missionaries or envoys in order for you to have that proper relationship. Next is the constitutional history. If you look at the history for us, yeah, we have our constitutional history of Malaysia. If this you have learned in your Consti 1 and Consti 2, yeah, and that is something that is very clear to you by now, in what way that we have formulated our history with respect to the constitutional perspective in Malaysia. If I look at the constitutional history of Thailand, then you see how the role of the king and the relationship of politics over there, which is slightly different because they were the one that is not being what they call it, being ruled by anyone, yeah, other than the influence of all the countries, especially America in Thailand. When I used to go to Thailand when I was small, over there we have vehicles, American vehicles, which is so big, that this, as I mentioned, if you're looking at the history, you will see how politics is being made, and then you see how the American have envoys that they put inside Thailand, and how the king of Thailand have are influenced by the politician idea of Americans, yeah, American politician, and how they have their vehicles, which is mainly to Americans rather than others. But if we cross over into Malaysia, you will see not American vehicles, a single American vehicle, but it's more towards British, yeah, or Europeans. Yeah, we call it convention. Continental, yeah, and those cars is very much different from American cars, yeah. um, you can ask your parents, do you have American cars in Malaysia? It's very, very rare for us to do that, to have that, because our constitutional history is different from those of Thailand and obviously if you look at England and then the constitutional history of England you have learned under MLS or in your Asasi it is slightly different though they used to conquer us and rule us but their history is slightly different. If you look at the flag every country in the world if you can Google it up you want to check constitutional history of any countries you can do that and you'll be surprised of how dynamic they are and very colorful nature and you'll be surprised in the nature of activities in the countries that reflects from the or translate from the historical of their constitutional way that they implement. Okay, for every countries in the world, they are different, right? So have a inquiry mind in order for you to go to other countries in order for you to find out what I can share the link if you want to but it's obviously under the Wikipedia just get the bird's eye view of the nature of the constitutional history of that nation and then you'll be surprised of the reflection of that constitutional history in the activities in terms of politics, economy, social, cultural, environment, energy, everything is actually translated via the constitutional history. And then lastly, we look at the public history in terms of what happened to the society in that particular country. Yeah. So for example, here I put people of China, people of India, Europe, America. For when I mention each country, then you will see slightly have a reflection in your mind. They are different in terms of their way of living, the way that they do things. The environment of the place is totally different from one place to another it, all this is actually based on the political structure that they implement and how politics are able to control the law. As I already mentioned, the constitutional perspective is actually how the politician is able to control the constitution of a country. And by doing that, actually they control the whole society in that particular country. For China, they are the political stand is to have only one party to control the country, right? Even though it seems like a democracy, but it is not. Yeah, and you see the how they come about yeah, to run the country and be resilient in winning the battle in terms of economic structure economic structure or economic survival that they need to do in order for them to exist. Compare that with Russia, where they implemented the same idea, but they have lost, in terms of their ability to enhance the economy by applying communism ideology. China, they realize that if they do not change the situation or open up, then they would suffer the same fate as Russia because what China did is that they open up by giving opportunity for capitalism to come in. So basically, China is in a way that 80% communism, but they do allow 20% what they call it capitalist to play a role. One example that I can give is that if you are assigned as a barber by the society by the republic um, they will provide you with all the tools but you are to maintain your service to the society from say for example 9 to 5 but after 9 to 5 the tools that the society provided you you can utilize it for your own income meaning people can come over to your place but they pay extra money. Yeah, that extra money is yours, but 9 to 5 is actually you are doing a duty to the society. If you compare that in India, and then they apply capitalism 100%, but over there the differences in terms of the poverty, in terms of economy, is very very large, whereby the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. uh, you know how politics is being utilized to the extent that there is one story that I can share with you. I try to find out where it is. They have created a bridge when there is no water. You know, they create a water, a river, in order for to justify the existence of the bridge. How politicians they manipulate things in order for them to achieve what they want. If you compare that with Thailand, you will see the differences in terms of how infrastructure that it was translated from political means. Yeah, if you look at bridges in Thailand, land bridges, you will see that their bridges are huge. Yeah, I mean bigger than ours. Ours is totally different. When we have big roads and when it comes to bridges, there is an indication that you are to be careful of the bridges, because those bridges were there for years and years before this. Uh, for Thailand, they foresee things differently and they want to create big bridges. Later on, you can create the roads in order for uh, the roads to be applied properly. You know, you don't have to be cautious when it comes to bridges, just because the bridges are getting smaller than the size of the road. Um, and you will see how the society live, yeah, in terms of the structure of energy. Yeah, in Malaysia we have a situation whereby uh, the electricity poles, yeah, in maybe about 60 years ago, you will see lines dangling from one place to another. If you open up Thailand, a picture of Thailand and any scene, you will see the cables that is dangling from one place to another. uh, I challenge you to browse through and see that. Maybe you won't be seeing that in Bangkok, but I think you're gonna see it, because that is the how they see things. Yeah, this is just one mini example of how politics was translated into law, and how the law regulates activities in terms of what I'm saying just now, electricity. Yeah, and if you go to Europe and America, obviously you will see a diverse amount of differences of political ideas that they apply for every state or every countries. Yeah, in Europe, or every state in America, they have every rights to apply their own ideology in terms of how politics that they apply that reflects the need of their own society. So I think we end the class today, and maybe we can have a discussion about the things that we have covered today, and hopefully it will bring such benefits in order for us to understand the topic better. Uh, One thing that I want to calm you, that we are going slow. Yeah, this is the second week. Obviously, you might be thinking that why we are in the mode of introduction, but still, let's play it safe for you to be able to understand. And I have to get everyone on board in order for us to move forward. Yeah, with that, thank you very much and see you in class, inshallah. Assalamualaikum. Good night. Be careful.